How has, if you take for example someone like an Aryan, how has his life changed as a consequence? Because what I'm concerned about is at a young impressionable age, if you're kept behind bars or in custody for a month, you know, it does tend to scar you, and then coming, even though you've now got a clean sheet, but coming back into society, do you think that's a big problem as well? Not just with Aryan, but with anybody who's put through this kind of, public humiliation, embarrassment of being taken in by the NCB. How do you cope with that?
Any person who is arrested by any law enforcing agency without any evidence goes through the same situation as Riya Chakravarti and others have gone through. One thing that becomes strikingly important in these issues is that the media pounces on them time and again and brings a bad name to the entire industry, which is uncalled for. Apart from this, you must see that Riya Chakravarti was 25 or 26 when she was arrested, and she had to go through a hell lot of trouble in spite of the fact that no drugs were found, no evidence was found. All that she did was fall in love with the guy who consumed drugs, and therefore it casts upon the individual's mind and the psyche for all times to come. Imagine a person going through a jail sentence or a jail imprisonment for 27 to 28 days pending bail. It was lucky that both Aryan as well as Riya Chakravarti moved the High Court immediately, and they were successful in getting an order of bail, particularly because the judges saw that there was no evidence in both the cases and ultimately granted bail. Because whatever you may say, the charge sheet that has been filed or the complaint that is filed in respect of Aryan Khan and Riya Chakravarti are at total variance. In fact, Riya Chakravarti should also get the same kind of treatment as anybody else has got in Aryan's case.
Oh, most certainly. And this question of the media coverage being raised against Sahil, I just want to point out to all our viewers that if you saw, for example, India Today's coverage of the Aryan Khan case, it was way more circumspect than some of the over-the-top pronouncements in some of our rival networks. And we were questioning, even when the investigation was on, rather than join a mob frenzy, the quality of evidence against Aryan Khan, and several of the disclosures which became very embarrassing for the NCB later were actually uncovered by Sahil and his team.
Well, Rahul, you have to understand one thing, what Mr. Maneshinde was mentioning. All this started even when Aryan Khan was released on bail. In fact, if you look at the bail order given by the Bombay High Court, it clearly mentions that the Narcotics Control Bureau, despite keeping Aryan Khan for so many days in the custody, could not find out any conspiracy angle to the theory which they were trying to portray in front of the court. The High Court also pointed out that the WhatsApp chats cannot be put forward as an evidence, and exactly the same judgment was given, the bail order was given at the time of Riya Chakravarti. So it looked like that the Narcotics Control Bureau did not learn any lesson. They started questioning the whole investigation only when Minister Nawab Malik started taking the press conference. In fact, I properly remember when India Today did the interview with Prabhakar Sahil, one of the witnesses in this particular case. He raised the question over the whole investigation. That time the Narcotics Control Bureau took the press conference in support of Sameer Wankhede. Sameer Wankhede either was misleading the Narcotics Control Bureau top brasses, or they did not think that it will go out of hand. But Nawab Malik relentlessly continued with the press conferences, and finally they had to put this SIT on and also conduct the vigilance inquiry. What it looked like is that since last, especially from 2020, when this whole thing was made up as if that the whole Bollywood is under the arms of narcotic substances, the whole 1 year Narcotics Control Bureau did not look into the investigations made by Sameer Wankhede. And now what is being raised is that because the bail order of Riya Chakravarti and that of Aryan Khan are almost similar. Even in Riya Chakravarti's case, the High Court has pointed out that there was nothing found on Riya Chakravarti, only merely on the basis of WhatsApp chats. She could not be kept inside, and that's why she should be released on the bail. The same thing has been mentioned even in Aryan Khan's bail order. It clearly shows that what kind of investigation the Narcotics Control Bureau was doing. It clearly depended on the whims and fancies and the discretion of the Narcotics Control Bureau officers. If they thought that on the basis of WhatsApp chats, That is what even the Vigilance Inquiry has mentioned. That is what even the SIT today is mentioning. Merely on the basis of WhatsApp chats, you cannot call somebody for the questioning, and that's what happened during Riya Chakravarti case. Right from Deepika Padukone to everybody was called merely only on the basis of WhatsApp chats, and similar thing happened even in Aryan Khan case. And now they have accepted that that was the wrong thing.